Let's be honest, you can have the best costume, the best CGI, or even the best acting. But if the physique doesn't match, something just feels off. That's why today, I am breaking down the 10 most accurate and attractive superhero physiques ever brought to life in both Marvel and DC films. Number 10. Andrew Garfield, The Amazing Spider-Man. Tobey Maguire, Tom Holland, and Andrew Garfield all brought something unique to Spider-Man. But if we're talking pure physique under the skin-tight suit, Andrew Garfield takes the crown. Because Spider-Man in the comics is never shown as a bulky musclehead. He's supposed to be lean, wiry, and flexible, built like an acrobat or gymnast. Garfield's tall, slim frame perfectly matched that. When he wore the suit, the proportions long arms, narrow waist, athletic shoulders looked almost identical to how Spidey is drawn in Ultimate Spider-Man comics. Compare that to Tobey Maguire's bulkier frame or Tom Holland's shorter, compact build, and Garfield just had that comic-accurate, model-like Spider-Man look. Number 9. Elizabeth Olsen, Scarlet Witch Wanda Maximoff is a fascinating case. In the comics, she's drawn as curvy, graceful, and mysterious. Not bulky like a warrior, but powerful in a softer, feminine way. Elizabeth Olsen captured that energy perfectly. She didn't go through an extreme superhero bulk-up like some actors, but her natural physique fits Scarlet Witch's vibe better than any transformation could. With her elegant proportions, subtle curves, and commanding presence in her costume, Olsen made Wanda feel exactly like the character fans had seen in comics and animated shows. Number 8. Antje Trouwe, Faura Ul, Man of Steel. Okay, I know Faura isn't a superhero, but come on, she deserves a spot on this list. In Man of Steel, Antje Trouwe played General Zod's right-hand soldier, and her physique was almost too perfect to ignore. She had a sleek, battle-ready build that made her look terrifyingly believable as a Kryptonian warrior. Her sharp facial structure combined with her toned body made her presence on screen magnetic. When she fought Superman in Smallville, you could feel the menace, and a huge part of that came from how physically convincing she looked in the armor. 7. Ben Affleck, Batman. While Christian Bale had a shredded, athletic Batman, Affleck's Batman looked like a tank with massive shoulders, thick arms, and a terrifying silhouette. He was the first Batman who looked like he could physically dominate Superman in a fight. It's no exaggeration to say Affleck gave us the most comic-accurate Batman body to date. Number 6. Dwayne Johnson, Black Adam. When it comes to physique, The Rock almost feels unfair to rank. What made his Black Adam performance unique is that his suit had zero muscle padding. Warner Bros. Actually redesigned the costume because Johnson insisted his body was already big enough to fill it out. And he was right. With his massive traps, shoulders, and arms, he looked exactly like the towering figure Black Adam is drawn as in comics. Honestly, if you showed someone a comic panel of Black Adam and then a photo of The Rock in costume, they'd barely see a difference. Number 5. Dave Bautista, Drax the Destroyer. When it comes to sheer size and comic accuracy, Dave Bautista as Drax is impossible to ignore. In the comics, Drax is drawn as a massive warrior with thick muscle density and an intimidating frame. Bautista, with his pro wrestling background and years of bodybuilding, brought that to life perfectly. His arms, chest, and shoulders gave him that solid brick wall look that matched Drax's comic book design almost one-to-one. What made it even better was that his physique wasn't just for show. Bautista moved and fought like a true powerhouse on screen. And unlike some actors who needed angles or padding, Bautista's size was 100% real. His raw muscular build gave the Guardians of the Galaxy movies a sense of grounded power, and it's one of the most believable comic-accurate physiques Marvel has ever put on screen. Number 4. Chris Hemsworth, Thor, Ragnarok, and Love and Thunder. Now, I know some people are going to be mad about Thor not being on number 1, and believe me, I get it. Chris Hemsworth has one of the most iconic superhero physiques in history. But let's break it down. His arms are 100% comic accurate. His height is 101% accurate. But his overall width and fullness? Maybe 95%. If he were just slightly wider, he'd be perfect. That said, in Ragnarok and Love and Thunder, Hemsworth showed his most balanced, godlike physique. Thor's physique is so legendary that it's become the gold standard of superhero bodies. The only reason he's not at the top of this list is because, well, the next 3 are just that good. Number 3. Hugh Jackman, Wolverine, Deadpool, and Wolverine. Hugh Jackman was never comic accurate in terms of Wolverine's height. Logan is supposed to be short and stocky. But physique-wise, he nailed it. In Deadpool and Wolverine, Jackman looked absolutely shredded. Veins popping, rugged muscle mass, and a thick animalistic build that finally made him look like the feral Wolverine from the comics. His dedication to training and dieting made this final Wolverine appearance his best physique ever. Number 2. Jason Momoa, Aquaman used to be the butt of superhero jokes. But Jason Momoa changed that forever. With his towering frame, long hair, and warrior-like build, Momoa transformed Arthur Curry into a total badass. His wide chest, thick arms, and overall ruggedness matched the modern New 52 version of Aquaman almost perfectly. Add in his tattoos and unique style, and you've got a version of Aquaman that's not only comic accurate, but arguably an upgrade from the original design. Momoa's physique turned Aquaman into one of DC's coolest heroes. Honorable mention, Chris Evans, Captain America. I can't finish this list without mentioning Chris Evans. He's one of the most beloved superhero castings ever. And let's be real, Evans's physique, while athletic and solid, wasn't quite as bulky as the comics often depict Capris. Still, he absolutely sold the role and gave us one of the most heroic physiques in Marvel history. And finally, the number 1 spot goes to Henry Cavill. Cavill has the most comic-accurate superhero physique ever. His wide frame, naturally hairy chest, thick arms, round shoulders, and perfect V-taper created a frame that looked almost identical to Superman's drawings from DC Comics. Not too lean, not overly bulky, just the perfect balance of size and symmetry that screams a truly masculine physique. What makes it even more impressive is that Cavill built his body naturally. But on top of that, he's genetically gifted, which gave him the ability to carry that muscle in such a clean and proportionate way. In Man of Steel, Batman vs Superman, and Justice League, Cavill didn't just play Superman. He embodied him. He carried the body of a god, and that's why so many fans still consider him the most definitive live-action Superman. But wait, if you thought the video was over, it's not. Because there's one guy whose physique might actually outshine everyone we've mentioned so far. And that's none other than John Cena as Peacemaker. Cena has been one of the most impressive physiques in the world for nearly 2 decades. As a professional wrestler turned actor, he built a body that's all about mass, density, and raw power. When he stepped into the role of Peacemaker, he didn't need any CGI padding or trick lighting. He simply showed up as himself, and that was enough to look like a real-life comic book character. Peacemaker in the comics is drawn as a broad, heavily muscled soldier, and Cena matched that almost perfectly. His massive arms, thick chest, and barrel-like shoulders made him look intimidating, but his comedic timing gave the character a strange charm. It's rare to find someone who can be both hilarious and terrifying at the same time, but Cena's physique helped sell that balance. So while Henry Cavill takes the crown for the most comic-accurate superhero physique, John Cena deserves this spot for having a body that might just be too big for the rankings. At the end of the day, a superhero's physique isn't just about looks. It's about selling the fantasy. When Cavill fills out the Superman suit, or Hemsworth wields the hammer, or Jackman bears his claws, we believe in the character. So now I want to hear from you, whose superhero physique impressed you the most. And hey, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe if you want more rankings like this.